Hello, Divine Feminines. How are you? My life, it's been both crazy and it's just so strange right now. I hope you're doing well. Things are just coming like left and right out of the blue, and this thing out of the blue is quite accurate. I don't know why. Let's find out. You know, I have to do all this gathering of information. It's kind of the way that I work. And then it all kind of synthesizes as I focus on the cards. So we have the snake, again, 5-5, which that number has been coming up. Hummingbird. Wow, really interesting. Dream the world into being. I have got that. And then, oh, well, there we go. Out of the blue, electric eel spirit. Bring your ideas to life. Potent creative energy right now flowing through us, and we have a lot of change coming in between the eclipse and the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is the most lucky day of the year, 420. It's interesting. I don't know where the snake came up last time. I'm pretty sure it was for him, but you two are faced away from each other. So we have a 10, 11, 7, 7, 11, 10. Two new cards, and then intuition again. Bottom of the deck is polarity. This is what it feels like. You have, I'm going to change this light color. There we go. That's better. Find the easier path forward. Surrender the outcome. Release your expectations. They want you to focus on the creation and not the outcome. The challenge will make you stronger. Well, isn't that true? You will get through. Okay, I get it. Thank you. So the feminine's been going through a period of challenges that have made her much stronger, and now it's the masculine's time. I do think that they also have been going through challenges, but there's just highlighting that energy is kind of shifted. You will get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in the situation, and then intuition again, which I think we've had like 4 days in a row. Integrate your shadow side. There cannot be light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. So you may want to look up or work with the law of polarity. We're going to get these. So the key to your healing is to use flow, which is that we believe there's only one way to do something, but in reality, there's infinite ways to do something. So when we surrender kind of our rigid expectations of how something has to happen, right? We've been talking about moving from Newtonian to quantum mechanics, and this is part of that, is that when you tap into the Akashic, it's like the quantum computing system. It's like, this came through last night. What's crazy about what I channeled last night, I haven't published it yet, is, and I'm not sure it's 100% accurate yet. Like, I don't think this has come through in the scientific realm. Right? Spirituality always comes before the scientific breakthrough because it precedes it in frequency. It's higher. So the nexus of the present moment, which that's all there is where the probabilities of all past all of the past probabilities that could have ever been, and all of the future probabilities that ever will be, equally influence the now and join at the present singularity, right? This is the singularity. They talk about the singularity with AI, where AI's knowledge will eclipse human understanding or capacity. I'm not that sure of it, but so at our disposal is always, I forgot where I was even going, but anyway, your healing is going to be when you flow. Holy moly, that scared me. When you flow from the point of the present where all probabilities can exist simultaneously. That's a lot, I know. Anyway, he's moving through his shadow. Take me home, pathway to true love, feminine twin activating the higher self, and then once again, high priest personal empowerment. Bottom is Merkaba activation, ground, shield, and protect. We've had, as these really high frequencies come in, we've had the grounding suggestion a lot. So it seems to be that he is activating his higher feminine self. Look, you have the snake again. King of Wands. I have a song, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Lover, in my head. They're saying you have so much more choice than you think you have. Like, would be overwhelming to your mind. But it's not your mind that will be doing this healing. It's your heart. Okay. So 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, upright. I don't know. I'm feeling strong, like he wants to eat food with you. There's a strong desire to have food together. It's interesting. Let's see if we can get more about why that is. So there's our snake. Whew, whew, whew. Tough energies here. Tough energies going on inside of him. This person on your mind, what are they thinking? It's pretty hopeless right now, but also there's like this knowing that you two will come back together. It's weird. It's like if someone were to ask him, he would say something different than what he actually is feeling. Because what he's feeling is that this is a sure thing. Like there's no doubt. Like 10 of Pentacles is a crazy card, right? I feel like he's done a lot of the work that I feel like he needed to do. So we've had 3 of Cups. I know it's not a 3, but that's how that card reads to me. 3 of Cups twice. Look at 10 of Pentacles. I should just use another tarot deck to do my cross. Queen of Cups, King of Swords. King of Cups. He's like trying to show up as the King of Swords, but in reality, he feels like he's the King of Cups. Like he's trying to cover over his emotional love for you with this thinking. And in ways, you've probably done that too, because you're holding back your love. I had such a strong activation last night. Right after the eclipse, it was so, so strong. It was just this like real desire to heal any blocks to intimacy that I've ever had. It was crazy strong. I really wanted another white card to come out, but there's not one. There's the heart. I get it. Okay. These three cards are really, really strong spiritual cards. And this card came out in a reading the other day, and it was like there was a lot of emphasis on how can we change this paradigm to be a win-win paradigm. It's through intimacy. There's this shift that's going on from like being validated to being like seen or known, seen and known. And it's kind of the seen part is the heart and the known part is with the mind. And it's like we are switching from this paradigm of wanting to be validated, so we kind of manipulate who we are. And they're giving me an example of like, so we wear what is expected of us to wherever we're going. And sometimes I say these things and then I see actual life and I'm like, this is so far from what's actually going on. It seems impossible, but they're saying no. It's like you've been showing up trying to be appropriate is the word they're using. And that's our collective consciousness, right? We've all been collectively appropriate in how we show up. So our creative expression has been very limited to, well, what will other people accept? Now, always like with a grain of salt, you know, we have jobs, we have, now I'm gonna sneeze. There may be like a jolt, I'm just gonna tell you, because I rarely sneeze in my readings. You know, it's like that movie they're showing me, Office Space, when he gets hypnotized and then he just does whatever he wants. And he ends up being like really appreciated because he's like so no nonsense. But in reality, right, doesn't always work like that. The boss isn't always happy. You just decide to like clean a fish at your desk or, you know, take your cubicle apart. So your heart is being, so this is such a crazy, so beautiful cards to come out together. Rose pink, which has been one of my favorite cards lately, and then the ever unfolding rose. Mature, admired, in full bloom, flourishing, true beauty. This is my kind of Empress energy in this deck. And then it also, it's like I said this the other day, but it keeps coming out. And then it says, cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. Like, you may joltily, unexpectedly kind of leave a situation or have a situation like change. This is this card that always goes with these to me, this appreciation card. I feel like they're just all the same energy and very strongly like, yeah, this is me, take it or leave it kind of energy. And not in like a mean way, like I know who I am. I'm not going to be who you need me to be to make you feel better right now. So anyway, we all have situations, right, where we can't, like if we want to wear tie-dye sweats, which sometimes I do, that might not fly so well at the job. It might not be so great at what, you know, whatever, a fancy restaurant or church or whatever it is that you go to. You know, you're going to go through this process. And this, maybe they're showing me something you really love about your masculine in the way that he's different than you. There may be a big difference somehow that, you know, he's more. It's so interesting that they're kind of bringing this up. So I love this card at the very beginning of my journey. This was a very important card to me. And they're saying like his life, his presence could be very triggering for in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. And even you. And that may be something that you actually like about him. Okay, so there's a lot of messages that are similar to the ones that have been coming through before. So we're going to try to develop them more so I can give you new. I do feel like the challenges that you've gone through, and I have been really just feeling this energy a lot, is that you know, parts of you or some part of you had to wake up and fight for you, for your what you wanted. And that's just it had to be that, like, your heart had to kind of get shook in a way. It was like, well, are you going to stay down or are you going to fight? And I'm seeing now, like, this is a Uranus card for sure, that we can't stay stuck doing the same things we've always been doing in the same ways we've always been doing them and create. They're putting emphasis on creation, the sacral chakra right now, that we can't create this life that we really truly want to live. Dream the world into being. It's like intuitively you're really being led to kind of see how he's like climbing up these branches, whatever. He wants to see from a higher perspective. You want to see things from a higher perspective, and these challenges that you too have been going through are helping you do that. And they're emphasizing that it's really helping your heart do that. It's like things that you may have thought were so important before, from a more, and I'm using this as like not age, but like an immature understanding where if you haven't been to battle, you have an immature understanding of battle, right? You only learn really about battle by going into battle. And yeah, you can. Showing me all these swords. I feel like you felt really attacked all at once, and so did he. Like, there was multiple things that came at you at once that I don't think you felt equipped to handle. And in a way, it was sort of like a reset of what are you going to, like a cleansing. They're putting this emphasis on this card here that what are you going to accept as like the bare minimum or the expectations for your life? And this is about you growing as in your worth, right? Like, yes, it does happen naturally, but things don't really come unstuck unless there's like a point where they get kind of jarred. And so let's take a deeper look at the actual tarot here. You know, you have 9 of Cups and 9 of Swords and 9 of Pentacles all in a row. This deck's a little challenging to read sometimes, with the 10 of Pentacles and the Tower and the 5 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. I wanted to say swords. So in the internal, you're really, I see that you're wanting to choose peace and prosperity. You're wanting to choose a really grounded, abundant life. And all of these things that you felt were obstacles, really, I feel like that Five of Wands is like, it made you both doubt, is this possible? Is this true? Like, this is the spiritual journey card for me. We have to go through the Eight of Cups to reach the Nine of Cups. You know, there are things here that there were challenges in the past, and they were obstacles to you, to what you thought was ultimate fulfillment. And I think part of what's gone on is that you've revised what ultimate fulfillment really means to you, or you're in the process of doing that. Right when the lizard goes up the branch and can see much further, it can see beyond the little jungle that he's been living in. He can see other jungles. He can see other lands. He can see choices, right? What they're highlighting is your ability now to see choices. And it's like, there's always many, many choices. There's always infinite choices. That's what that whole thing was at the beginning about the quantum present, right? There's always infinite choices, being equally influenced from the past and the future. And that sounds crazy when you first hear it, I know, right? That's what the Akash is. When you can read the Akash, Akashic records, you get the full earthly perspective. When you can read the galactic Akash, you get the full galactic record. And there's even many above that. This energy is really, really high. I know that sounds weird because we're talking about mundane things. But sometimes I channel the Elohim, and it's a very, very high energy, and I can feel it because it's a particular energy. So there's a very big emphasis that angels are with you. And again, on faith, like there's a very, it's almost like angels and demons. I feel there's a very strong pull between going into new territory versus staying where you are, and the trust that you have in your own ability to navigate unknown lands, unknown territory, determines how far you can go, right? I always talk about that. Self-development is about developing your ability to believe before you can see. And it's, in my opinion, it's the very hardest of all development. It's the spiritual path. The spiritual path gives you nothing to see. And sometimes when you begin to walk the spiritual path, your soul's path that's calling you, even more comes into your physical reality, because it's so strange, but it's like the further up you go, I feel like they're using this card as a metaphor for the emotional scale. The further up you go, the more self-love you have. You can't go up the emotional scale without developing self-love. Essentially, I would call the journey to enlightenment a self-love journey. And the lower frequencies are self-love deficit. Now, I've used that in some things. Nobody responds to that phrase. It's a very difficult phrase to internalize. If you're in the lower frequencies, it won't be able to reach you at all. So, why? Because you're on the ground. I see what they're doing. Wow, it took me a little while. Okay, so it's like when you're in shame, essentially, if you imagine the emotional scale as a jungle, shame is the dirt. You're in the dirt, you're on the dirt. That's it. Imagine a really tall Amazonian tree. You know, enlightenment would be at the top of the tree if we're just using that, no sky or anything. So at the top of the tallest tree, you could see everything going on, essentially, right? Like in this metaphor. So when you are dealing with your shadow, you're actually dealing with the dirt. You're dealing with the only perspective you can see is the thing you're in right now. You can't see solutions. You can't see alternatives. You feel like a victim and you're stuck. This is an amazing metaphor. And the thing with the twin flame journey, it's so powerful, is that you're aware of your mirror so intensely. So what most twins do is just stare at the mirror, right? They don't use it. They don't use it as the, even here it's black and white. They don't use it as the tool that it really is to show you where you are. Most people stare at their masculine and they're like, he's a narcissist, he's hurting me, he's doing all of these horrible things, he's ignoring me, he's, they just stare at the dirt. And all that mirror is things that you're doing to yourself. As hard as that is, and it's crazy that they just showed me, they're like, oh, look at the tall tree. The tall tree. Part of what you have to overcome is the fear that if you're at the top of the tree and lightning strikes it, right? We talked about lightning in the very beginning, a jolt or fire. You're kind of stuck at the top of the tree too. I mean, you're going to take a very hard fall or something. So that plays into this movement, because what you're focused on right now is movement. It is sort of crazy that these two cards are so similar. What's going to drive you forward is this healing. There's unfinished business between you and this masculine, this person, that revolves around trust and trusting enough to kind of have a new beginning. Unrequited love. I think that when you get to the point where you're like, have healed the abandonment wound or the rejection wound, this feeling of, I actually want intimacy. Like, I actually want intimacy. I want to be known and I want to be seen. And I don't care if someone knows me and sees me and doesn't want me in their life. That's okay. Like, that's what the healing of those wounds looks like. It means I'm brave enough to let the world see me and to know me. And I don't care if I'm validated from that, right? It's choosing truth over validation. Because the validation was false to begin with. You know, unless you are being true and then you're being validated for, you know, whatever, say you're a great singer and you're validated for your singing abilities. That's a true validation, right? That's your creative energy out into the world. But we've had, what they're bringing up is like, the masculine has dominated the definition of creation for a very long time, and that's being revised. Like, they're showing me almost like a constitution being rewritten, and that came up the other day, but for something else. I don't remember what it was, but it's like we've lived in this agreement between masculine and feminine for a very long time about the role of the feminine, the role of creation, how we allow people to be creative. But really, they're saying everything is creative, and AI is going to drive that forward in a much bigger way. Like, they're putting a huge emphasis on the fact that it won't be knowledge anymore that really steals the attention. It will be creativity in a way that's like authentic. You know, they're just showing me like coming home to ourselves in this really profound way where, I don't know, it's really, really beautiful. I feel like the world is so far from this, where our inner children can express and be in love with the world. You know, our feelings can be completely valid and healed. It's like, so far. This is so far out there. Okay. It's like you go to the coffee shop and the barista makes you this wonderful coffee, and you have this exchange and like monetarily with food, right? And you're meeting and there's conversation, and this person plays a lovely role in your life. And part of what we've been kind of conditioned to believe is this is only a monetary exchange, and this person really doesn't matter, and this is what they're bringing through, just so you know. It's like there's a distance between us. We aren't intimate with each other because this is a place of business and we do a monetary exchange. And we don't really see, this is so Avatar-y to me, which I don't really like that movie personally, but everyone I know does. And it's giving me this, like, I see you, where I think they touch their heads together or something, or they touch their third eye. But it's like the value of ourselves and the value of our life and the value of our creations is gonna go up so dramatically. I feel that the money part of it's going to kind of be the least important aspect of all of our interactions. Like, the quality of our lives, this is what the masculine and these very difficult situations are bringing to you. It's like, for a lot of people, I think this has to do with the waking up of the intimacy. And it's like, we're surrounded by people that don't really see us, don't really know us, don't really care. And I think for most people, there's a recognition that some people, they thought maybe part of their families, maybe an integral part of their lives, maybe an actual partner that really doesn't want to know you, to care for you, as if they were equal, as if you two are one, like the one love theory is what I'm saying. Not one, but and that may have been very jarring. That may still be jarring. That may come. So that may cause this tower of like, these people say that they love me, but their actions do not show that. And I do not feel that. And they do not know me. And that's one of the things that your masculine like wakes up in you so strongly, is that, and you wake up in them, even if they try their hardest to deny it, right? That there's this mysterious feeling of that has no real origin. It's just so profound and so strong that it's wakes up this part of you that's like, lets you know you to a new degree, right? It's like your self-intimacy is what really sparks these profound changes, right? And it's kind of crazy because I was talking about the, like, in the jungle, when the lizard goes all the way up the thing, it can see everything, and then at the top of the tree it can see everything. But then, like, if this were up here, if this were the sky, there's also the sky, right? There's also the stars turning around us. And for some reason that's important. Is that the one? Alrighty. We have North Node on the bottom. You have meditate and contemplate. New Moon in Pisces. Oh. It's time to release negativity. Full Moon in Scorpio. Ton of Scorpionic energy on their side. Your hard work is paying off. New Moon in Capricorn. Surrender to the divine. Full Moon. Step out of your comfort zone. North Node. Personal issues reaches resolution. Full Moon in Cancer. A time to give rather than take. New Moon in Virgo. Don't let pride get in your way. Full Moon in Leo. Oh, I'm looking for an answer here. This is an end of a tough cycle. For some, I think it involves you putting pride aside and just forgiving. Take that to mean what it will. What else do we need here? So I'm feeling not that fulfilled on what it gave me all the way. Let's see what it just says here. It's telling me I'm missing something. There's a big emphasis here on, like, there are new ways to do things. There are new ways to create the outcome you want, like quantumly. That really, when you work with the divine, you can feel. Cancer, I feel. It's weird. I just said that. Leo, I will. Pride. Taurus, I have. 5th house, creativity. 11th house, friends. So those are opposite each other. Jupiter, returns, benefits. 2nd house, owning. Virgo, I analyze. These are powerful cards. Jupiter, return. And this is the 20th. Jupiter and Uranus. And I know the 5th and 11th house are very important in my particular chart. They're very important houses anyway, but this is where the eclipse happened, in my 11th house, and then all of my Chiron is, and the planets are in my 5th house, like my sun. This is like a networking and friends, but it's also like influencing, like your social influence and your creative spark. These are interesting too, because they're such powerful, they're right next to each other, these energies. I feel and I will, right? This is the solar plexus. And this is the moon. And I feel like a lot of these changes that are occurring will be led by the moon, will be coming to you through at night, when you're alone, when you're reflecting, when you're allowing yourself to feel pretty deeply. I feel tired today. Even possibly while you're dreaming. The masculine seems to be formulating a plan based on something spiritual. I think he doesn't really want to involve you in all of the parts of his life that are difficult right now. So the more you kind of take your own life into your own hands, responsible for your own emotions, your own reactions, your own feelings, the easier this will go. You know, I posted this quote yesterday, and it was like, it's from Eckhart Tolle, and it was like, this isn't the quote, but it's just what it said to me. It's like, the suffering is unending until you decide it's not necessary anymore. And to me, that means like you've realized that the stuff going on, it's really not about you as a person and your worth. Like if you have people treating you badly, doing things to you that are hurtful and could seem to be very much about you, they're only about you if you allow them to be about you, right? And I know that's a very high level viewpoint of it, and we can't always get there. Sometimes it feels very personal. The hurt, the pain is, you know, a real pain. But ultimately, those people, that person, whoever did it, whatever to you, just because they think or act in accordance one way, doesn't make it true about you. You have true love, Guinevere. The romantic stirrings of your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. What a beautiful card. Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. Ishel, medicine woman. You are a channel for divine healing power and the arts. Interesting. Express yourself through creative activity, because that came out. And then peace. You know, it's really up to you to choose your own peace. And believe people are who they say they are when they show you who they are. And be wise about, you know, what you fight for and what you choose to give your attention to. I don't know. The divine loves you very much, and it's coming through very strongly in my heart field. So they want you to love yourself in accordance. Beautiful rainbow dragon brings the leap of joy. So we've had two. I would almost say this was a full card too, but brings the leap of joy to open new doors. Have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles, accept opportunities. Works with you to clear the fifth dimensional ley lines. It is time for service. When you give, you receive. Burns out the lower energies around you. We've had that one several days in a row. Alpha Dragon. Harness the divine masculine power of creation. Destroy the old. Visualize a dream and help manifest a new world. Does have a quill in its talon. And then Air Dragon helps you rise above earthly matters. Exactly. That's crazy, right? Communicate honestly. Brings inspiration and hope. See life from a higher perspective. It never gets old, I'm telling you. Every time it happens and it reiterates what I said, I'm like, it feels hoaxy to me, but I do believe in spirit, and those are beautiful cards. I love Odin. Feels like Odin hasn't come out for a while, but I do love the masculine energy of Odin. It's a very powerful magician energy mixed with wisdom to know, you know. So let's see what comes out. The Miriam, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all and remember that love has no boundaries. Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Archangel Michael, trusting heaven. You are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call and don't let anything stop you. And then we have Charity here. So there's a big emphasis on giving for some reason. It may be time for you to give whatever it is you want to let go of that you don't want anymore in your life, or to give your time. The crystals, moonstone, cycles, dioptase, heart healing, aquamarine communication, awakening crystal, emotional healing, master teacher card. Bottom of the deck, tiger's eye, courage. And you can always call these, am I missing one? No. You can always call these energies in and ask them to work with you. Dioptase feels very awake right now. Messages. So there's definitely someone you need to work on forgiveness with, even if what they did was wrong. The forgiveness is for you. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or walk away at any time. Reflection, trust, secret admirer. And it's important right now to take a step back and spend time alone instead of placing your focus on another. Now is the time to give to yourself. So maybe part of what you need to give is to yourself. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. Transformation occurs through acceptance, right? This is surrender. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that will all work out for the best. So hard when you feel the energy pulling away to not kind of go after it, but that is ultimately what stabilizes it in the middle. It's really challenging, I know. You know, you feel that strong pull from your sacral that is tugging on you. I don't know if everyone feels it the same, but generally, people feel it in their sacral and heart activation too. And it's just so intense to like learn to sit in it. So there is something here happening that your soul is calling you towards. And we really can only hear those soul whispers when it's quiet and we're in peace and things are settled. And our self-love is quite strong. They're saying, you know, if you listen right now, you'll hear a lot coming through. A rebirth is available, new growth, and ideas being given to you from soul family. So these are two super beautiful cards about Atlantis, Lemuria. You have ancient origins, hidden meanings, messages from within, sacred mysteries, and soulmate. Soul family, distant travel and motion, gliding along and common goal. So, really check in with yourself when new things, people, and situations are coming into your existence right now. Make sure you really check with yourself about the alignment of them and how they feel. Because the more you let yourself be safe and grounded, the more that you can feel that really high energy up here. Is this the direction I want to go in? Is this aligned with who I am at my best and not the opposite, right? So find an easier path forward. When we're looking for our path forward, they really want us to release the cynical parts of ourselves that think everything has to be hard. It's a protection mechanism, right? Where we have to, our ego needs to insulate us from our past failures. And remember, nothing actually is a failure. It's just a learning experience. But we don't want to go through the pain again of looking like we failed. And so we just assume everything's hard and everything's not going to work out. And just because you think it is doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to learn pretty big lessons along the way. That maybe was the entire point of the whole thing anyway. And then bringing that back up around, because they're saying you've learned these very tough lessons, extract the wisdom, let go of the pain, transmute it, and understand what they said is that these were for you to alchemize and ascend, and not to use as proof that you're not lovable, worthy, capable, successful. It's like the positive is that you take these lessons, you learn the information, that you're much more capable of fighting for yourself and your life and your desires and your vision than you really thought you were previously. And by doing that, you can really move forward so much easier than if you carry all that with you. Whew. All right. I hope that helps you. Bye for now.